All right, good evening, everybody. Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you in the Breaking Weather Center. We just have a tornado that's on the ground right now, so let's go right to Storm Commander right now, and we'll sort this out. This is a tornado warning that goes in effect, and this is in effect for parts of Alabama at for, for central Jefferson County in central Alabama at 11 at 10:44. A confirmed and large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Fidel, moving east at 45 miles per hour, folks. So this is a particularly dangerous situation right now. So this is a time you need to be seeking shelter now. Do not wait on the tornado. This is a life situation right now. So you definitely want to get centered and get covered right now. This is a tornado that's on the ground. So we definitely need to be seeking shelter. If you have any friends that live in Birmingham, Alabama, this is the time you need to be seeking shelter now. Wiping the windows, put many walls between you as possible right now. This is a tornado is on the ground right now, so we definitely want to take this whole thing seriously right now and protect yourself from flying debris. We do have a tornado warning right now. Goes in effect into about 11 p.m. So we definitely need to take the storm seriously. So hold on just a second. So right now, this is a particularly dangerous situation. So if you have any family members listed in this tornado community, you definitely need to be seeking shelter immediately. This is a damaging tornado right now. This was a large tornado, so you need to be seeking shelter now. We have a tornado on the ground right now with the storm, and look at that. Goodness gracious. Look how tight that rotation is. So that is a particularly very tight rotation. So if you're living in that tornado polygon, this is the time you need to act the tornado precautionary right now. This is the time you need to move to a basement. You're not going to out loud listen to you're not living in a trailer in this tornado. So this is the time you need to be activating your mobile home. If you live in Floatdale, uh, Gardendale, Center Paint, Guysville, Personal, Clay. If you're any of this polygon, you need to be shaking some tornado. Your tornado safe spot. This is a damaging tornado right now from radar, and we still got a new tornado warning for St. Clair County, Alabama, to 11:30 at 11:40 at 10:40. All right, somebody just popped on here, mate. We'll see who that was. All right, we got Isaac. Isaac, can you hear
Yes,
me?
hold on. Yeah, it definitely
Okay,
looks
I'm
like
gonna have
that
you talk for a
shear.
second. I gotta go check something. Okay, can you hear?
Answers really, yeah. Obviously, so that shear within that couplet's at least 100 knots. I mean, there is, yeah, that debris signature is really wide. Just what I'm seeing there, just east of Fultondale now. Um, but yeah, um, that is very tight rotation. At least 96 against minus 30 knots. So that's at least 100 knot low level shear base. And then you're talking very, we're getting some a really intense debris signature once you're.
All right, power.
I mean,
All right, power addresses right now with the storm. Power address.
all right. So for those of you guys tuning in with us, um, again, I will point out that as this storm continues to make its track, looks like the signature is definitely reorganizing. But we need to pay close attention to the situation in northern Birmingham because that cluster has a really strong inflow signature. Can you zoom in on that, JD? Yeah, you can see that
Okay,
hook,
hold on, man.
that
All right, we
inflow
just got
signature.
another tornado warning has been issued right now. Okay, so Let me zoom in a little bit more. So I'm going to put this out. If you're in this tornado warning right now, you need to be taking some shelter now. This is not a time to be in a mobile home.
Hmm. So yeah,
Right?
again, that
At
info.
10:44, a confirmed and large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Floatdale, moving east around 45 miles per hour. So this is a typically dangerous situation right now. So you need to be seeking shelter if you're in the path of the storm right now. This is a tornado, and this is nighttime, so you're not going to see it. So this is kick cocking at 45 miles an hour, folks. So, like I said, if you don't listen to us, you could really get hurt by these tornadoes, right, Isaac?
Yeah, current path with this looks like it's we've had this debris signature fairly consistently. So I mean, it's been on the ground for
I'm pull
potentially a
that up
couple miles. We don't
for a
we don't
second.
know the actual wind speeds within the tornado, but it is definitely looking like um, we're getting a very tight rotation within there. All of that, most of that energy is translating down at the ground. So I mean, we could be talking at least 100+ mile per hour velocities within there. It could be embedded much higher. So I mean,
Good
this is
grief.
at least this is just thinking about it. This looks like it might be. I'm just inferring what this is. Not saying it is, but it
So,
could
like
be
I
an
said, if you're
EF2
in
plus.
All right, so like I said, Isaac, this is a typically dangerous situation right now. So if anybody in that polygon, like if you're in parts of St. Clair County, Alabama, this is another damaging tornado, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That debris signature is continuing to track into that sections of that warning, and I will point out. Um, Again, there's a lot of saturated rain cooled air, super cooled air that's wrapping around, like with that rear flank that's formed, and with that debris signature and whatnot. So this could be potentially rain wrapped. So um, again,
So if
like
this is rain wrap,
it's
folks, you're not going to
nighttime.
see
It's
this
going to be
tornado coming.
yeah, and it's definitely very dangerous. A lot of power flashes being reported actually from some of our correspondents across. Sections of northern Birmingham Metro as well. So, I mean, definitely just gives us an idea of the wind speeds with this. I mean, potentially well over 100 mile per hour velocities that I've looked at just outbound with that downdraft. So that is a very, very tight circulation, continuing to reorganize and super. I'll
Tornado
tell you that
polygon,
circulation has been.
you need to be seeking some shelter immediately. This is a typically dangerous situation,
Mhm.
folks. If you don't listen to me and Isaac, you could get hurt or injured. You don't want to be in a mobile home right now. This is the time to evacuate that mobile home and go somewhere else, right?
Yeah, correct. Again, a lot of people are in mobile homes in sections of this area. I will point out that there's a lot of site built homes in the area. That's good. But again, the best place to
Look at
be
that. That's
is
very
in
tight.
a
Good grief.
permanent
Look at
building.
that. That's very tight.
Yeah, we've been watching that very closely. Looks like the circulation's not as tight as it has been, but still a sign that there's still rotation. There's still potential debris around. That tornado is probably still around, but the circulation is not as tight as it has been. So I mean, likely what we just saw is just right around I-65 in northern Birmingham, that as that circulation did pick up, we got something really quickly forming with that, and that debris signature popped up really quickly too, because the signatures I was getting there, at first we saw that, and then it was just a matter of one scan. We saw that just after that velocities picked up. That's when we saw stuff happening with that. So I mean,
All right. Do you see anything else right now?
Just looking at the dual polarization products and everything, um, that, like, again, this is a lot of energy that's hitting the ground with that. So I mean, there is a very tight area of rotation that we've been monitoring, and again, this tornado's probably been on the ground for a couple miles, just stretching from Fultondale up towards areas further
So this is the
northeast. It
time you
looks
need to
like
be
it's
shaking
broadening
shelter
out.
now.
Still some
Oh
debris
yeah,
being
Isaac.
further up.
Here, Isaac, I got some information to pass to you.
Mhm.
You might want to tell people to put football helmets on too, or a baseball helmet. We learned that from the Joplin tornado.
Yeah, it looks like that debris signature is kind of breaking up a bit. So I mean, still there's smaller debris further aloft, but I mean, we got some really strong debris signatures. It's probably been, I mean, this could have been like half a mile plus wide. Just what we've seen. Well, the debris signature, probably not the tornado itself, but still very intense signatures we've been seeing with that. Um, Again, this is probably larger objects that have been lofted. So I mean, it could be like actual structures and homes or larger solid objects. We know that, or just how they're concentrated, not the relative size of the objects, but still very. Uh, that was a really intense debris signature we have indicated over Doppler radar.
Yeah. So let me pull up our potential for hail. See if we have anything with
And
this. Very little, but not a lot.
yes, just south of Penson towards
So like I
Trust.
said, if you're doing all right, new severe thunderstorm warning has just got put out for Mississippi right now. Okay. All
All
right,
right,
Isaac. This storm is
what's up?
capable of producing up to golf ball size hail right now.
Okay. Quite a bit of instability that some saturated parcels that are being super cooled by that updraft. So,
Velocity on that.
and some of that streamlined convection further downstream towards the Gulf in Louisiana, Mississippi. So, I mean, we're getting a lot of convection brewing out of that, and a lot
Yep.
of upward facing with this environment too. So, something we got to really pay close attention to.
All right, so I'm zooming in a little more closely. Still looks like if you're in clay area, that is very tight rotation. So if anybody in these polygons tonight, please take this very seriously as assault because this is very excuse me, a dangerous situation, right?
Yeah, right. Again, Weather Service continues to indicate this is a particularly dangerous situation, just given the debris signatures and everything. This is likely just the strength of the tornado itself, not the relative size of the actual system. So I mean, there's again just how we gotten a really intense debris signature, fairly large. So again, something we got really pay attention to. Just yeah, and that's the same debris signature. Still looks like some smaller debris. Still could be on the ground. Just way things are looking.
I tell people, you definitely want to take this tornado as seriously as you can. Make sure you're in a basement. That's the safest place I go to when there's a tornado, but you do not want to go out there and chase this. Like Isaac's been telling everybody tonight, this is a tornado, could be rain wrapped. So this means the cool air is going to be picking it up and you're not going to see it coming, right?
Yeah, right. Not a lot of people do have basements when you're talking to like the foothills of the Appalachians and stuff like that down towards the Tennessee Valley too. So I mean, the safest place to be
Mm-hmm.
is the lowest floor, again, center, small interior room like a closet. Just anything that's away from windows or exterior walls, just putting as many walls between you, putting as much room between you and the tornado as possible, because there could be like 2x4s, and like it can rip through a siding and
Yeah.
everything. So I mean, you think about it, you could get a lot of injuries just being near exterior walls or trees falling onto your house. So this is a time where you need to be just just getting out of the way in the closet, your designated tornado safe area.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is not time. This is not the time to fool around tonight. This is a tornado is probably on the ground right now, and sees moving east around 40 miles per hour now, Isaac. So this is cocking very quickly. So you're not going to have time. So please take this very seriously tonight, because, like I said, this is a tornado on the ground. And
Yeah, right, right. Any updates or
all
local
right, just join us now.
storm reports?
I don't see any right now. Um, looking for new storms, trying to get us act together over here by Pinckneyville down here of by Memphis area. Looking at Bubba Valley
Yeah, it
area
looks.
and pull up the velocity on this, because this storm 40% on that. I'd love to see what the hail threat on that. Yeah, looks like by Prairie Point area show me signs of some hail probably growing. We'll have to watch that storm real closely.
Yeah, it looks like that could potentially um, that could go severe warn fairly soon. Just looking at the VIL, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
just it'll be progressive. Just keeping an eye on it. And again, there's a lot of cool air, and again with that streamlined convection, something we got to pay close attention to, like upscale growth
I'm
and
checking. Do we
some
have? Oh, that's
little
Earler.
bit of
So sorry
forcing
about.
for ascent that's still around. Little bit of forcing for ascent that's still around with this overall. So I mean, anything that does develop.
EF1.
What's up? So um, yeah, I mean, there's still some.
Newport just came in now. This is radar indicated tornado.
All right, yeah, continues to be radar indicated, potentially still on the ground. No official confirmation because again, this is really hard to see. You know, it could be that's potentially rain wrapped. All that super cool air that is.
All right, new severe thunderstorm warning again, Isaac.
All right, what's the basis of that warning?
New storm, severe thunderstorm warning. A new severe thunderstorm warning for Rickson County and central Mississippi, South Central Simpson County and central Mississippi, North Central Copeland County and central Mississippi until midnight. At 10:59, a severe thunderstorm was near over Bremerton or near Crystal Springs, moving east at 40 miles an hour, so hazardous. Golf size hail with a storm. So this just tells you we're starting to get some pretty large hail with these storms, right, Isaac?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just you think about it, the mean storm motion vectors and everything. There's pretty good fuel for updrafts and everything. Just the way I viewed it. And again, any of that saturated air can really get
So
fed
make
into that
sure you're
updraft and get
making
super
yourself
cool.
safe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely a strong updraft. Looking at that VIL signature, so I mean, quite a bit of upscale growth and some
All right,
little
we
bit of
still have
forcing
that
for
tornado
some.
warning. So far, I have
Yeah,
not
what's
seen anything. Look at that hail, Isaac. Look at that. Look at that
yeah,
hail
what's
in
the
that one
report?
tornado warning there.
What's the report there?
No hail report. I'm just showing you what the Wickliffe shows. Looks there's nothing there. I'm just showing you what the Wickliffe shows inside of it. That dark
Yeah,
white goes all the way to 80, right?
yeah, sure. Something passed along from SCMD Storm
Hello.
Community. Major structural damage has been reported. Early indications looks like that is along that some major structural damage being reported. So I mean, you come to think of it, that's at least um, that if it's an industrial facility or a warehouse or maybe it could be like so if you're talking like major like that could be like EF2 plus for sure. Just coming to think of it, I still gotta. I'm gonna check my Twitter feeds and we'll pass
Wow.
along any additional information that we get. But again, that's just the early indication we've been getting some reports of major structural damage.
So, I mean, if you're in Asheville area, you would, or any of these polygons, I would still make sure you're in your basement tonight. The lowest floor will be the safest place. This is a particularly dangerous situation tonight. We already have damage, some major damage, right, Isaac?
Yep, major structural damage.
Let's see, pull up our, let's see if we have any more.
Neighborhood. Tornado was in progress prior to crossing the interstate, then intensified rapidly as it entered the town. From our group admin team.
Well, that's not good. I wonder
Yeah,
we'll
so I mean, this
see a
is
new
probably a
tornado
big
watch or
day
not.
for Fultondale, and we'll definitely be monitoring for disaster relief efforts and just how things with emergency response down there.
Yeah, I mean, we were not
I'll
expecting
continue
to
to check
have this
Twitter
one,
feeds,
were we?
pass along. I mean, definitely no surprise. I mean, the probability was there. Just looking at again, like you can get a strong tornado from just one cell that impacts a local area. Like I said, just you get a very strong elevated supercell, and then it congeals with all that energy translates down at the ground. And then you're talking very strong
Yep.
height falls in a certain area, then it can happen pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't,
So never be.
and I don't even think we're done tonight, are we?
Well, I mean, you could still get some of that streamline convection. Will still potentially see some severe thunderstorms continue to produce maybe some hail, and I think it'll transition to mostly a wind threat, maybe an isolated tornado or two as we head into the rest of this period. That watch does expire at 1 a.m. as that activity continues to push through mostly eastern sections of that watch area. And the threat for flash flooding will probably continue with some of that, or just given some of that training moisture with some of these with parts of these systems through sections of the Midwest down towards the southeast. So something to pay close attention to.
All right, still watching this. Let's check the severe thunderstorm warnings. All right, just got one report over here by Flunkdale area. Several reports of down power lines and damage throughout. Can you see that, Isaac?
Yeah, that's what we're getting there. Reports to lines and everything. I'm still trying to zoom in.
Let's see.
Yeah, Fultondale, some major damage reports. Could you read that aloud to us?
Okay, I'll try my best. All right, we get several reports of down power lines and can't pronounce that word there.
Yeah.
Certain damage through Funkdale TDS on KBX radar.
Mm-hmm. That's tornado debris signature when you see that.
Okay, we have that, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Pickens County that runs in effect at midnight. So any of these storms could get a spin up tornado. That's what I'm concerned about. All even long, we can see that, and they're just showing different counties are under warnings until midnight right now. Things in motion. Yep. Look at that white color there. That's some pretty large hail in that storm. That tornado warning has a lot of hail with it. Alright, that's to the tornado
Yeah, it continues to be a fairly
warning
healthy
goes in
updraft. So
effect
that's
11:30. Still, you want to be in your safe spot still.
hmm
Alright, looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning has been entered to midnight now. Looks like, well, that's the same one. 12:15 now. This is for 60 miles of wind gust and a half-dollar size hail. So,
yeah.
any of
We're
these storms are
transitioning
producing
to
more of a hail threat now than a tornado threat.
yeah. I definitely agree. Storms will continue to have that forcing for ascent. It's slightly moving into some shout or some more stagnant air. So further aloft. So that's so I mean that's where there's um, fuel for some of these. Intense cells to form, and then they dissipate rather quickly. And then that's where you're talking about an increase in the wind threat, and then that'll kind of be persistent over the next hour or two, as things kind of stabilize, and then we'll probably look at maybe a threat for
Mm-hmm.
damaging winds, a spin up tornado or two, but I don't think that we're going to see much, or I don't anticipate the Storm Prediction Center to issue another watch tonight. I think this is just as good as it gets for now.
Well, I think they did show something at night, um, 9:19. They put something out from the SPC. Did you check that out?
Yeah, that was in regards to the current watch. I will point out that there was a little bit less forcing for lift further aloft. So I mean, there's a couple of areas where the storms could grow upscale, but the storm heights at their peak were like 45,000 feet, a little bit less than that. Um, but I mean, now we're talking about an increase in the low level shear for sure. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
any storm that does develop and has the energy to produce a strong downdraft, and it translates some energy down at the ground. I mean, the SRH has um, the helicity and stuff. I mean, the ingredients are there for maybe a spin up or two. We'll have to pay closer attention to that, and we'll see. We'll see what how things go, and we'll have to see what happens tomorrow too, because the remnants of this will push through sections of southeast Alabama into Georgia and towards the Gulf Coast tomorrow as well.
Yeah,
Um,
probably see another slight
Mostly
risk.
just a damaging wind, maybe just another damaging wind threat. Um, Not really expecting too much out of the way of surface based. Well, I mean, while we can't rule out a spin up or two, I think that the storm heights are going to be lower tomorrow. They're going to congeal into more of a linear convection mode, and that could produce damaging winds, heavy rain. Um, Definitely something to be very mindful of as we head into tomorrow as well.
Okay, so right now we still got severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms could produce nickel-sized hail. This one over here. So let
Mhm.
me pull up our velocity. It doesn't look that much, but the hail threat is really growing. Look at this. Very large hail here by.
That's the updraft with that. We'll see how much air gets saturated with that updraft, but I mean, we can't rule out some um, maybe some penny nickel, maybe up to quarter sized hail with that in the foreseeable uh, time with that
Here's
warning.
some
But
new. Here's a new one, 1215. This one is capable of producing 60 miles of wind and half-dollar size hail, but there's a little marker showing you now, a yellow one. That's probably indicating some weak rotation, right?
yeah, right. I mean that's further aloft, not at the base of the storm. If there's base level rotation where there's a rotating downdraft, that is something to pay attention to as we go over the next um, over the next 30 minutes to an hour or so.
See what we got in place. a little bit of the Boeing here. The bows. Anytime you get the Boeing, folks, that is some very strong winds. Each time you get the Boeing. So let me pull up our radar again. And you see, let me put the... And you can see there's a little bit of Boeing with that storm there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a column of sinking air that's very strong downdraft, kind of something to pay close attention to. Yeah, definitely a good Boeing segment with that. It's kind of a little appendix that curvature with that. So that could be producing some fairly strong winds. I will point out.
Yeah, this is showing you some very strong winds right now with that. It's kind of early to see storms like this, right?
Yeah, right. We'll have to continue to see how that does progress. I mean, looks like winds 50 to 55 miles per hour at the very least, and we'll see what happens with that. Tornado warning up there too. Still continues to be some energy further aloft. We'll see. Looks like that inflow signature has kind of it's kind of receded a bit, but still very strong thunderstorm. Something to pay really close attention to, for sure. I'll continue to check Twitter feeds and relay information as we get it, but now I'll have to send it back to JD. Good to be with you.
Thank you. All right, everybody. We still have that wind tornado warning that goes into effect into about 11:30. So we'll probably stay with it just for a little longer, for a little bit. It still does have the potentially of some very large hail. Goodness gracious, are you kidding me? Very large hail with this one tornado warning. And it doesn't still have one on the ground right now. So we definitely still need to take this tornado warning very seriously. So definitely we need to be aware of that. And hold on a second. All right, back with you again. Still have the tornado warning that goes in effect until 11:30 this evening. This storm's still capable, so you definitely need to be seeking shelter. If you're in a larger area, you need to be sheltered. Asheville, you need to be seeking some shelter right now. You're under a tornado warning. Still look like the not looking better. Potential for hail is really going up on this tornado warning, so you definitely still need to be seeking some shelter. And still could be developing a tornado on the ground, folks. So you definitely need to be seeking some shelter right now and let the storm pass you. Very tight couplet all the way up there, so this still could be a tornado on the ground right now. So we definitely need to be taking cover if you're in the path of this tornado warning. And we do have storms. Getting some more reports of hail over here. So I'll pull up velocity. And yeah, there's a little bit of hail there. So we need to be keeping an eye on that. And there's more reports of the severe thunderstorm wind to about 12:15. So still have a huge couplet there. But we need to be keeping this eye on. But what we're going to do is probably I want to take a quick break. And if we do see a tornado pop back in with the storm, we would interrupt again to let you know what's going on. I'm going to continue to moderate this tornado warning and keep you informed tonight about it. If we see another damage in one or something, a light situation threat, we'll be back with you.